Chapter 13. It's too late. When George and Harold reached Mr. Krupp's office, they found only his clothes, shoes, and toupee on the floor. "Look!" said Harold. "The window is open, and one of the red curtains is missing. What do we do now?" asked George. "Do we save Captain Underpants, or we just stay here and get eaten by a bunch of toilets?" Let me think about that one," said Harold as he climbed out the window. George quickly collected Mr. Krupp's things and shoved them into his backpack. Then he jumped out the window after Harold. The two boys slid down the flagpole and ran off after Captain Underpants. "Where does he think he's going?" asked George. "I have no idea," said Harold. "But we better run fast because I think we're being followed." Captain Underpants dashed through the backyards of some nearby houses and collected pairs of underwear from the clotheslines. "Mammy," said the little boy looking out his window, "a man rat came to steal our underwear. And now two boys are being chased by a ferocious-looking toilet with sharp-pointed teeth screaming, 'Yum, yum, eat 'em up.'" "Yeah, right," laughed his mother. "Just how gullible do you think I am?" Chapter 14. The Tongan Toilet Takeover. When Captain Underpants was finished commandeering the underwear of local civilians, he dashed back to Jerome Hurt's elementary to save the day. The school was now overrun with chaos. Miss Roble came tearing out the door, followed by several evil toilets. "Help me!" she cried. "They swallowed every teacher in the whole building except me!" "Don't worry, ma'am. I will let them eat you up," Captain Underpants said as the toilet ate her up. "Oops," said Captain Underpants. Now only George, Harold, and Captain Underpants were left. They stood on the front lawn of the school, completely surrounded by hungry, drooling toilets. "Yum, yum, bam, up!" The talking toilet shouted. "Yum, yum, bam, up! Yum, yum, bam, up! Yum, yum, bam, up!" "What dog?" cried Harold. "Never underestimate the power of underwear!" cried Captain Underpants as he stretched and shot underwear into the windy mouths of the talking toilets. Unfortunately, the toilets just swallowed the underwear whole. It only seemed to make them hungrier and hungrier. "If only we could think of something that would make them really sick," said George. "Yeah," Harold continued. "Something so vile and disgusting would make them all blow their cookies and writhe in agony." Suddenly, George and Harold's faces lit up. "Cafeteria food!" they shouted. And faster than a speeding waistband, our three heroes dashed into the school. Chapter 15. Cream Chief Beef to the rescue. George, Harold, and Captain Underpants got inside the school safely and closed the front door behind them. "I think the toilets are all outside," said George. "But not for long," said Harold. Quickly, they ran to the school's kitchen and discovered a cart holding a large vat of something green and sludgy. "Yuck," said George, holding his nose. "What is that stuff?" "I think it's tomorrow's lunch," said Harold. "Perfect," said George. "I never thought I'd be glad to see cream chief beef." Together, they wheeled the tub of stinky green glop down the hallway and out the side door of the school. Captain Underpants sat on the cart and stretched a pair of underwear over his head like a slingshot. George stood over him, scooped some cafeteria food into the other and stretched it back. Harold wheeled the car toward the talking toilets. "Toilet!" shouted Captain Underpants loudly. The talking toilets turned and saw our three heroes. All at once, they shouted, "Yum, yum, bam, up!" and the chase was on. Harold pulled the cart across the playground as the toilets zipped after them. "Fire one!" cried Captain Underpants. George shot a glob of cream chief beef into the first toilet's mouth. The toilet swallowed it whole. Harold kept pulling as George scooped another serving into the underwear and pulled it back. "Fire two!" cried Captain Underpants. Zip went the cafeteria food right into the second toilet's mouth. The whole process repeated itself until every last toilet had swallowed at least 2 servings of cream chief beef. "We're almost out of ammo!" Captain Underpants shouted. "I don't think I can run anymore," said Harold, huffing and puffing. "Don't worry, look," said George, pointing at the toilets. They had all slowed down and were beginning to grunt and wobble around. Their eyes crossed, and they turned an odd shade of green. "Look out!" cried Harold. "I think they're gonna hurl!" And that's just what they did. George, Harold, and Captain Underpants watched as the toilets upchucked everything they had eaten during the day. The cream chief beef, the underwear, even the toilets all came out without a scratch. Then the toilets spun around in small circles and fell to the ground, dead. George checked the teachers. "They're alive," he said. "Unconscious, but alive." "Wow," said Harold. "That was easy." "Too easy," said George. "What do you mean?" asked Harold. George pulled their comic book out of his backpack and showed it to Harold. "Remember how the Patsy 2000 turned everything on the front cover of a comic book to life?" he asked. "Yes, so?" said Harold. "Well," said George, as he pointed to the Turbo Toy 2000 on the front cover of the comic, "we haven't seen him yet." Chapter 16. The Turbo Toy 2000. Suddenly, the Turbo Toy 2000 came charging out the front door of the school with a terrible crash. The earth rumbled beneath its mighty footsteps as nearly a ton of twisting steel and raging porcelain descended upon our heroes. "You three meddling fools may have destroyed my army of talking toilets," screamed the Turbo Toy 2000, "but you're all out of cafeteria food. How are you gonna stop me?" "I'll tell you how," Captain Underpants said boldly. "With wedgie powder." "Wait, Captain Underpants," cried George. "You can't fight that thing. He'll rip you to pieces." "Boys," said Captain Underpants nobly, "I must fight valiantly for truth, justice, and all this pretty shrunken company." Counter defense laid onto the Turbo Toys 2000 and the battle began. I sure hope this doesn't lead to incredibly graphic violence, said Harold. Me too, said George. Chapter 17, The Incredibly Graphic Violence Chapter Part 1 in Flipperama. Warning, the following chapter contains a tendency showing a man in his underwear battling a giant toilet. Please do not try this at home. In the past, literally dozens of epic novels have been written that have changed the course of history. Moby Dick, Gone with the Wind, and of course, Underpants, The Attack of the Talking Toilets. The only difference between our novel and those other Brand X novels is that ours is the only one that cares enough to bring you the latest in cheesy animation technology. The art of Flipperama. Wedgie power versus potty power. Oh no! The potty power punch prevails! The carnivorous commode captures the captain. Chapter 18, Harold and the Purple Ballpoint Pen. Everything seemed hopeless. Underpants had slipped and fallen to the mouth of the Turbo Toy 2000, and now the giant toilet was coming after George and Harold. Ho 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 ho! Laughed the powerful porcelain predator. Once I've eaten you two kids up, I'll take over the world! None if we have anything to say about it, yelled George. George and Harold ran to the school and locked the door behind them. The Turbo Toy 2000 banged against the door with its fist, shouting, You boys can't hide there forever! George and Harold ran to the gym. I got a plan, said George. We need to invent a character who could defeat a giant robot toilet. How about a giant robot urinal? Asked Harold. We could call it the Urinator. No way, said George. They'll never let us get away with that in a children's book. We're skating on thin ice as it is. All right, said Harold. How about a giant plunger robot? He can carry a really big plunger, and that's it! Cried George. So Harold took out his purple ballpoint pen and began to draw. Give him laser eyes, said George. All right, said Harold. And give him turbo atomic rocket boosters, said George. Got it, said Harold. And make him obey our every command, said George. I'm way ahead of you, said Harold. Harold finished his drawing, and George inspected it carefully. This just might work, said George. Yeah, said Harold, if the Patsy 2000 can hold out. The boys turned and looked at the dented, cracked, and beaten-up machine laying on its side in the corner. George and Harold pushed the Patsy 2000 upright and dusted it off. Come on, Patsy, old girl, said George. We really need you now. Yes, said Harold. The fate of the entire planet is in our hands.